Welcome back to another episode of Photography Tips and Tricks, your show for inspiration, tips, tricks, ideas, anything that's going to take your photography over to the next level. My name is RC, and today we have Matt Kloskowski talking to us about a special tool from Really Right Stuff. Matt, what do you got?
Okay, so I guess it's all about making things easier when you're out there shooting. So last week I did a tip on making your tripod easier to carry using one of these little pads. If you're out in the cold, it's the winter time. Everybody's cold, your hands get cold when you hold the legs, so I did a tip on that this week. Really Right Stuff did something pretty ingenious here. Because you ever notice your tripod, your ball head, your camera, the plates on your camera, they all have little tools that come along with them. And you can guarantee that those tools are never ever where you need them to be when you're using your tripod and your ball head and your camera. So Really Right Stuff has done something pretty cool. They created this thing called a multi-tool. And what it is, and when I first got it, I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, I got it and I opened it up, and all of your little wrenches and screwdrivers and everything are right inside of here. And it's a lot like something you'd find in one of your hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's stores. Everything's right in here and you put it right in there. And I'm thinking, all right, so the tool is great. I'm thinking the problem is it's gonna get lost inside of my camera bag. And then I read the directions, like everyone does immediately when they get something. I read the directions and I realized it actually screws in right under your tripod. So you put it in under your tripod. It's not long enough to impact anything, you know, your tripod going low to the ground, and it goes right in there, and now it's always with you. So what about if you don't have a Really Right Stuff tripod? Two things. You could get a multi-tool from Really Right Stuff. It's got a threaded thing right at the top of it, and if your tripod does have anything to connect that to, you could use it on any tripod. The other thing you could do is, you don't have to get the tool from Really Right Stuff. If you have a Gitzo tripod, go to your hardware store and buy one of those wrenches that has all the little hex heads and everything inside of it. And you know, especially if you took the tip that I did last week, you could slide it right into the side of one of these covers. There's a ton of ways you could tape it on there. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do to make sure that that little tool is always where you need it to be. So that is my my little make things easier, keep the stuff where you need to, kind of simplify things tip for you this week.
So for more information on all of that stuff, you can go to reallyrightstuff.com. You're going to find tripods, all sorts of accessories. They even have adapters now for the iPhone 5, which I thought were really cool. But that's the place to go. Make sure you go take a look at reallyrightstuff.com. We'll take a quick break. We got a couple more tips, tricks, and ideas here in Photography Tips and Tricks.
When bad weather strikes and threatens your next outdoor shoot, you need the experience. The experience of a photographer that can handle any situation.
Get your hair out of your eyes! Come on!
The experience of Joe McNally.
Bad weather doesn't mean you can turn in a bad shoot. It's really bad weather out here, Harry! I'm not gonna leave this dock without a picture.
Trust Joe to teach you the tips you'll need to capture stunning photos even when the weather turns ugly.
Anybody there see the sun? I don't.
Don't let bad weather ruin your next...
I'm happy again. What am I supposed to out here? Sing a chorus of I Feel Pretty?
Don't let bad weather ruin your next photo shoot.
Telling people what is perfectly obvious, that the weather sucks!
Rely on Joe McNally to help you weather the storm.
The miracle of photography visits us again. We are...
Learn how to take great photos in bad weather. Watch Joe McNally.
Whoa, was that the same cow?
Welcome back, everybody. RC here. Now, I want to talk to you about something that I'm using on my phone to take better pictures. There are two different apps. Take a look at this. Right on the iPhone, I'm going to go ahead and go to my photography section here, and I use Moonseeker and Sunseeker. Take a look. If you go to Moonseeker, this right here shows me all of the different moon phases. I do a lot of photography at night. I like to experiment with stuff, but I want to know specifically what type of moon to expect and where my sun sources are going to be. So take a look at this. Right with my compass, I can switch over here to this one section and notice that as I move around, that's moving with it, right? That's okay. But really, this is a little too nerdy for me. What I would do is I would just go to my 3D view, and inside my 3D view, I can look at the set And based on where I am at the set, it can tell me that at 3 a.m., January 9th, that's where the moon is gonna be. At 4 a.m., at 5 a.m. So it shows me exactly where the moon is going to be at specific times, and all I need to do is just hold this up in front of where I'm at and go, all right, well, that's where the moon is gonna be at this point in time, point everything over there. This is also really, really good when you're working with sun sources. Let's say that you have a model and you want to position a model in a specific area and you want to make sure that the sun is at a very specific spot when it's coming down really low. Well, same setup. All you have to do is just go outside, find where the sun is going to be, find what direction it's going to be, and go, all right, well, the sun's right there. I know exactly where to put my model. So apps like this, let's take advantage of the technology that we have so that we can shorten the amount of time that we're guessing and spending more time taking pictures. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick tip from Mr. Jerry Guiones on how to recognize the three-dimensional lighting in open shade.
Hey guys, I'm Jerry Guiones. Welcome to D-Town. I want to give you a quick little tip on how to recognize beautiful three-dimensional lighting in open shade. Now, many of us, when we photograph in open shade, all we're doing is we're just shooting right into the couple. But if you can recognize where the shadow is falling on the face, I'm telling you what, your photos will just a lot more dynamic and just lift off the page or lift off. Let's say a bride is looking at the internet and can see an image that's three-dimensional and a beautiful quality of lighting. They'll know the difference. They won't know why it's better, they'll just know it's better. So let's look at it. Now, this is a really good place to photograph, let's say for photographing family shots. Nice and even lighting, very clean. Of course, it's important. If we're shooting in a position like this, we've got to watch out, because if we expose for these guys here, and then we get some bright highlights in the background, of course, our attention will go on the highlights. So let's assume we have even lighting in the background for the moment. In fact, I might just shoot with Rosie just for a second. I'll bring you in a moment, just so we can recognize that beautiful lighting. Come a little bit more this way. Okay, patchy lighting. How about we turn around a little bit? Can we do that? Let's turn right around. Perfect, just there. Let's look at her face. Come right around this way. Don't be shy. Okay. So to see the lighting on her face, it's pretty even. Now, a simple tilting of the face upwards, the chin upwards, you see how that lighting is falling on her beautifully? Now we have a shadow underneath the jawline and those catch lights in the eyes. Now, it depends where you want that shadow. So in other words, if we tilt the face this way and turn, okay, what I want you to do now is, let's come on this side of the face. I'm actually going to photograph this. Let's just get your highlight off there. Come a bit more this way, a bit more, a bit more. There we go. Tilt. So if I was to shoot on this side of the face, it's quite broad. It makes it look broader than she is, as in, you know, she's got a very slim face, but I want to give her a three-dimensional quality of lighting. So what I'll do, I'll photograph this, nothing too fancy. So I'm at 200 ISO, daylight white balance at 2.8, and let's just get a shot here. Okay, so the pros and cons of this lighting. One is it's soft skin, so let's say if a bride had bad skin, perhaps broader lighting might not be a bad thing. But we've got beautiful skin, and perhaps you might want to fix it up afterwards in Photoshop. Now, I've taken a shot right there. I'm going to leave her there and just change my angle, and let's look at the difference. So now we can actually recognize this beautiful shadow on her cheekbone and her jawline. That's going to make it look a lot more three-dimensional. Now, you must understand that with our own two eyes, we don't see a big difference between that highlight and shadow. But here, you'll see it. Watch this. Slight blink there. We'll do one more again. Beautiful. Fantastic. So huge difference between, let's just have a look here. We've got that broad light on one side. She just stayed where she was. And there we have the shadow side. And again, that's going to make it look more sexy, more three-dimensional, and more beautiful. If you want to learn more from me, please visit my classes on kelbytraining.com. Thank you.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue à Paris. Poulet, pommes frites et jambon. La donne, la tête, la pillée. Je suis fatigué. Voulez manger la fromage. La voiture, elle pour rapide, cloque monsieur. Monsieur Beaujolais avec fâche. Je suis fatigué. Vraiment, j'ai la fromage. La voiture est poulet rapide, cloque monsieur. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. Au revoir. La fromage.
Welcome back to Photography Tips and Tricks. We've got our website to watch this week, and it would stand to reason that if we're showing you Jerry Guiones, Jerry's gonna have the website to watch this week. Come take a look right here over at jerryguionesphotography.com. He has got some great imagery that he does. So Jerry's one of those people that's just a phenomenal wedding photographer, and you should really take some inspiration and take some ideas and just take some jaw-dropping moments right from his work. All of that stuff can be found at jerryguionesphotography.com. Now, guys, it's time for our contest. This is what I want you to do. I want you to KelbyTV.com, and right from inside of here, I want you to select Photography Tips and Tricks. It's right here in the upper right-hand corner. From there, I want you to find the episode that this is. This is episode 13. From here, once you go into the episode, go all the way down to the bottom, and here you want to leave a comment. Put in your name, put in your email, put in your website, leave us an idea. Tell us what you saw. One of you guys is going to win 2 books as a way of saying thank you for your comments and your subscription here. Secrets of Great Portrait Photography. This is by Brian Smith. It's great images that have been made here from some amazing celebrities. Adventures in Sports Photography by Tom Bull. Tom Bull's out there shooting some amazing stuff in the world of sports. He does a lot of mountaineering and he does a lot of skiing. There's kayaking. It's just great work. And if you want to be able to shoot out there with the best, Tom Bull's the one that you should be looking at. Thank you so much to Peach Bit Press for the books. Now, that's pretty much it for this week. Next week, we'll have more inspiration, more tips, more tricks right here on Photography Tips and Tricks. Take care.